Om Shanti. Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Monday workshop series. So where we invite Baba's special children. And today we have with us Brother Jignesh. Brother Jignesh is from Sweden. Right now it is early morning, 3 a.m. He's straight, coming straight from Paramdam. Straight into settled region with Baba. So he's going to lead our sessions today at his very special auspicious time. Brother Jignesh is very unique, Baba's child. He has, at very young age, he got in touch with Baba, and something deep within him resonated with Baba's message and Baba's vibrations when he first visited the center. But today's topic is more very much near and dear to all of us Brahmins. And today's topic is about seeing ourselves beyond limits. And especially in Murlis, when Baba sees us with a very high regard, and then he sees our most elevated personality. And sometimes it is too hard to comprehend and digest the vision Baba has for us. To have that vision which Baba has on us, to hold that vision for ourselves, gets a little harder to digest. And today's topic is very much on that lines, where how can we live up to what Baba's vision is on us? And not only that, Baba is not imposing any of his like a parent having a desire for the child, but he is looking at our truth. So now, how do I raise to that awareness? One thing of sure is by faith, other thing is by surrendering ourselves. But there is something else that we can use to recognize who we really are and go beyond our limited self. And today we have with us Brother Jignesh. He's going to take us through this journey with his own personal experiences. And you can see the backdrop, one of the ancient pictures, one of the original pictures of Yagya. You see that picture of Lakshmi and Narayan in the backdrop. It's one of the unique. And yeah, I definitely love that picture. So you can definitely tell he's one of the second timer Brahmin, and then he has a very unique journey. And without any further ado, I invite Brother Jignesh. Welcome, Jignesh Bhai. Shanti.
Wonderful. Om Shanti. Very good evening to all of you, and very good morning to me and Baba. Perhaps it's 3:30 in the morning. Amritwila time is the best time we know. So, very good morning to the other part of the world. Fantastic to be with you. And thanks for a lovely introduction, brother. I was long back. I was in San Jose because I was working in a company and headquarters was in San Jose. I guess San Jose or Santa Clara. I forgot. But I've been to San Jose, and then I was thinking this part of the world is so different than the Europe and then Bharat. But yeah, that's the world. So yeah, you already got my introduction. So I live in southern part of Sweden. It's called Skåne of Sweden, and the city is Malmo, and it's near to Copenhagen, Denmark. So it's a border, and we have Baba's house in Copenhagen also, and this part of Sweden also. So we serve many souls, perhaps many Indians and many different people, because this is a university city where I live. So it's a good opportunity to deal with youth, especially, and being a youth, I can understand how to deal with them. So it's a fantastic journey. Yeah, so lovely to share with you I would say, the incredible experience what all of us we have. Each and every Brahmin souls are very unique, what Baba always says. So I will share what I am doing, and I share my stuff with Baba. Perhaps I would say the owner of my life. I have a few points which maybe I will going to share, and brother also gave us some point, like which I can include. So lovely. It's a nice questions and nice points. Yep. So if I start, I I think I'm not sure exactly, but I need to calculate. But it was like 15 or 16 year when I was a 15-year-old. It was 1999 when I was in Ahmedabad, my childhood, and I always had a quest that who am I and what's my role. I always used to ask my mother that what's the role of my life. You give me birth, I know, and then she used to give me answer based on the religion, like being a Hindu, Gujarati, Vaishnav family, we worship Lord Krishna. So she used to answer me that this is your role, this is you are, and then you have to do this. You got married, you have a kids, and you fulfill, very typical a set of thinking. So I had always a quest. So at the age of 14, age of 15, I traveled. I think traveled many NGOs and many religion. I would say I read all the scriptures. Even I read Vedas and I read the Bible because I just wanted to know the quest. I had a quest. I wanted to know who am I. I think maybe now I understand why I had that quest because I always feel that my love story with Baba is not fulfilling my previous birth. So this is the year I am just fulfilling, and I just have to fulfill my story, and that's why maybe I'm carry forwarding. So then I joined many NGOs, many temples. Just wanted to understand that who can help me to understand. So I read the Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Baba is always focusing in our Murli Sakar Murli. But then it was in 1999, the day of Diwali. Is a very very auspicious day in India. We left the lights, so it was just a Diwali. I was walking on the street. It's a Diwali day, so people do this rangoli and then diyas and all. And I saw one house very fully covered with the lights and rangoli. So I just wanted to check what they are doing because I always visit some temples and some stuff and some ashram. So they were doing rangoli. It was in Ahmedabad, the area called Memnagar, and I was just doing rangoli, and that's it. That is the day I joined Baba, and my whole family still now they don't believe in such kind of spirituality. They now support. They think that it's a very different world. So it's a journey which I started in 1999. So I finished my school, I finished my engineering, I got a job, and I also work in some in the US also, and then in Bangalore. And then 6 years before, I got a chance to work with a company here in Sweden. So I shifted to Sweden. And the moment I shifted here, I started doing, wherever Brahmin goes, we start doing service. So I started organizing meditation. I started giving course, and now we have a good amount of people, those who come for meditation. And then we have a very good Brahmins here. So then later, now I am responsible for Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Hindi Brahmins also. So we have almost 20, 25 to 30 Hindi Brahmins, very pakka. And then almost we have a 50 to 60 sort of Brahmins, so-called Brahmins, they join sometimes. So now it's a good service what we are doing here. So that's a journey. I'm working. I'm working in a company. So I work in a company that makes the microprocessor. You all have a computer and GPU that's called graphical processing unit. So our company makes that chip. So I'm part of that group, and I design and I code, and that becomes the chip. So that's my lucky job,
I
and
think
all of,
I think ARM has also built a
yes,
chip that went to Mars.
yes, yeah.
That's right,
But
because my friend worked on that.
correct, yeah. So it's a very small nano world, the cheap world, and then imagine about our thoughts, our impression, and our intellectual power. It's so subtle. Sometimes people ask me that You are being a person working in a very core technology, the cream semiconductor technology. How come you jump into spirituality? And I said, oh my goodness, spirituality and science, they go hands to hand. And spirituality is no way connection that I have to be old or I have to be like this, I have to be religion. It's all about the introspection, what I have, and integrity. I always say, but it's a very fantastic job that we deal with the micro chip, like nanotechnology. And then I always give a experience in my office when I talk that, we work on a nanotechnology. We try to, shorten the area of the chip. So exactly the mind, the mind and then impression, the way you think, it's all about your life. So yeah, it's a fantastic. It's a challenging also because you start your day with morning Amritvela, then office, and then center, and then people sometimes knock the door, Home Shanti, and then you have to entertain, and then evening meditation again, and courses, and 40 to 50 Brahmins to manage. But I find very easy. I find so happy that Baba is really helping, and I think this is the time where we can contribute, we can give our best, we can give our own life to a supreme. I often talk to myself because no one is staying here, only me and Baba, because it's a small apartment, and no, there are no much Brahmins who can stay with, and it's not big center because very small city, and then everything is online. After COVID, the best experience is Zoom. So people do come Brahmin. I invite Brahmin. We do have a Nordic Hindi retreat next month, which I organize. So we invite Brahmin from London who conducts our retreat, and also Janti Band and Vedanti Band, and sometimes they come online. So things are going good. But what I do in my life, if I can share my personal experience, how I sustain myself, sometimes is being youth, and that too, I also spent some time in Western world when I was a kid. My dad was working in a Western, and then I also spent some time, and then returned to India, and now again in Western. So I think 6 to 7 years in Sweden. So it's a very much mixed culture, Eastern and Western, and sometimes it's not that easy to deal with the Eastern mind to the Western world, and with the Western thought to Eastern mind. It's very much, very much chaos. Sometimes I feel that we are in a so much position and situation. But I feel if I just forget about who am I, if I just forget about my role and my responsibility, but then I always think about one thing, that I belong to the one, my energy belongs to him, and he's the one who is the owner of my life, and I have to do it. And then I get tremendous amount of energy just to fulfill my own task, or I would say fulfill Baba's task. We often use word Baba because that's our love of life. But there are many things. So uh, in that case, like I start my day early morning, office, and then work, and then Brahmin family, and then the center activity, and then we have every day evening Murli class. And now I have divided to our Brahmin, so every evening we have a Murli class, Hindi, English. So my overall journey, my overall experience is, the more you offer, the more Baba gives you. It's like I nicely learn good stuff here in Western also, that maybe you also have to look after yourself. Sometime in Western, in my office, they often say, "We'll get back to you. Let us check and we'll get back to you." I never use that word with Baba, and that's why yesterday Sunday's Murli, Baba said, how, what, why. So then I think, imagine it's been 80, more than 80 years. Baba started giving us this knowledge. I was sharing in class Sunday morning. We have a big Sunday class in the morning, and I was saying, imagine the owner of the world, like the owner of universe, we call Supreme Almighty, a point of light. Forget about for a time being, forget about the name Brahma Kumaris, forget about the white clothes, but just think that you are a tiny soul, and your father is a supreme soul, and then you are connecting with him and supreme soul. Shiv Baba is an owner. I mean, infinite light. They say universe is infinite. I feel maybe universe is infinite, but the power, but the energy, energy is infinite. Shiv Baba is located in top of the world, but then energy is infinite. I mean, there's no limit. It's infinite. So if I think from that perspective, very vast. It's like in Hindi, nice word, the behad. Behad means like no limit. It's like limitless. But another meaning of behad, which I find is it's like every kalp. It's happening. It's not ending. So I think from that perspective, and I say, no, I have to do it. And because it's my golden opportunity, it's a golden chance. And I have only 100 years. So it's been 82 years, maybe with Baba started 1936 and now 2023. And still Baba is saying, please do not eat outside. So I was thinking, oh my God, we really have to understand. We have to go beyond this now. I mean, following our four principal Srimad, like eating food, clean mind, like food and mind, and then your impression and purity. I thought we have to go beyond this now. This is now very, very new stuff. Those who are coming new to Brahmin life, so I was hearing, no, we have to go beyond this, eating and behavior, and then dealing with Brahmins, dealing with other people, and we fill chart, we do this, we do this. But I think no, the time is going very fast. We have to go beyond this. So what I do, I mean, my effort, my purusharth is, I always feel I have to go as much as possible and as much as near to Shiv Baba, supreme abode, and that shows how you how you give your best to yourself. So no limit, no challenge. I mean, no limit which I define in my life is no. I have to just give. So I always remember these three words which I mentioned: awareness and alertness, attentiveness. These are the stuff which I always remember, that we don't have much time, and life is awesome, life is beautiful. So the moment I wake up, I start having conversation with Baba, like what I'm going to do today. From Amritvela, I give my whole routine, my meeting. Even I inform Baba that in the meeting I have a one office meeting. In that, one of my colleague, how he behaves, how he deal. You know how he takes energy. So I have to deal with that person. So you have to remember. So 10 o'clock I have a meeting. So make sure that if it might possible that I have a 63 birds, bad stuff with me still. I'm trying my level best. But you have to remember the 10 o'clock, no matter what, wherever you go, but you have to come to me, because it's not easy to deal with that particular human being in office. And I always feel it gets very easy, because then I give a responsibility to Baba. It's his job to look after me, and this is how I continue my life the whole day. I i i always try. Now it's a work from home, so I always try to make the fresh breakfast sometime, and I offer both to Baba. No matter what is the milk or some cornflakes, just offer it. That is give some entertainment to connect with him. And then I make a nice lunch also. So I make, because after COVID, it's a good opportunity to work from home. So I go office twice a week. So then I get a chance to make lunch. So then I talk to Baba, and then if sometime evening also, if I have a time, then I make some evening snacks and chai. I have a two cup with me. One is a big one is a small one. So I pour the tea both of the cup, and I have a table. So I have a chair. I mean, it's a four chairs table. So one chair is dedicated to Baba. So I just put a cup, and then we have a heart to heart conversation. Sometimes I feel it's funny, right? I mean, nobody's sitting over there and you are talking in the air. But then I feel it's the energy. I feel that I always create a positive energy. At the end, I say, okay, done. Now we have spent much time. So then definitely that tea in the small cup, I pour it into my cup, and then I have it. But this is just a conversation. I just feel that there is someone who can listen to me and who can understand me, and the outcome of that, because I also when I have my lunch or dinner, I talk to myself, but then I imagine that someone is sitting beside me. Staying alone, it's not easy job, I feel. So this is some technique which I always do with Baba. And then now what happened whenever any new souls or Brahmins they visit center, Brahmins they can easily understand it's a Baba, right? So they say, no, it's a good feeling. We feel we connected to Baba. But many non BKs when they come to center, I invite them for lunch or dinner or sometimes some program. Some Indian people, those who are living nearby, I also invite them for lunch. So they also feel that there is some energy, and they feel that there. I mean, many people told me that we find some angel is moving around. So it's not a miracle. It's not something I feel some kind of good stuff. No, I feel it's energy, and that's what Baba really wanted us to do. So this is how I also spend some of my time with Baba, and then I understand. No, it's a all deep connection. And when I say deep connection is something, maybe your own nature, and I'm making my nature like Baba. In Hindi, Baba always say, Bab Saman. So Saman means it's not equal. In Sanskrit, the nice meaning of Saman is when you actually do a clone or copy. It's like a deep copy. In technical language, we call the deep copy. One is a copy, one is a deep copy in C and C++ when we do coding. So deep copy means you also copy the object inside the object. So the saman means like not exactly the meaning equal. Saman means you get the deep copy, and that's why day before yesterday, Baba used nice word that you become Master Satguru. Imagine, I mean, you are in a position when you become Master God. So I always think about that, and I always give myself challenge that you have to do this, you have to do this. So now if I share few experience what I have and what I do with Baba, because experience is something which we can easily connect. Like sometimes we listen to class and we understand the deep meaning of some topic what Baba is always speaking in Murli. So you have to do your own churning and stuff, but experience will help to understand. So it was a COVID time. Sweden have not declared the lockdown, so it was open. Everything was open, but our office was closed, and I was working from home. So then we announced like online classes and Murli class and everything, and Amrutwela also, and everything was started and going smooth. Our Brahmin started joining. It was a very good moment when I started connecting to Baba. Then I decided myself that this is a time maybe rather to listen, rather to attend too many places, maybe focus on the self and understand that what Baba really wants me to do. Because Baba often say in Murli, in a victim Murli, that do you hear the sound of bhakts, the worshippers or devotion? Do you hear that sound? They are so unhappy. So I always feel that yes, somehow I do understand and I can get that feeling. And then my many of friends, they lost their parents, and one of my friend he lost both mother and father in COVID. So then it was afternoon, Sunday afternoon, I remember, and I was walking because no lockdown, so I was walking. And here is good that you anyhow you make the distance. Not much people connected to each other. So I was walking in a garden, and I was literally feeling very deep pulling from Baba. I was feeling that Baba really wants me to do something. And it's like when you have a good feeling in your mind, or I would say when your soul is really recognizing something, your body reacts. Either you cry, or either you get itching or something. Maybe someone can figure out the biological reason, but I felt like that whenever my soul really feels something, whether it's a good or bad. If it is good, then simply I laugh. I can have a smile 24 hours. Maybe that's something I can realize. And if I feel very deep connection with Baba, I can cry. Cry not something like maybe the the tears of love. No, it's simply cry because that's the body reacts. And that's why you see when we talk to each other, we often use our hands. So that's a body reacting, because this is how your soul gives an answer. So why I'm telling, because then you also experience when you are in a good meditation, you easily cry, you easily get connected, and maybe that's a body react sometimes. So I was walking and I was feeling very powerful pulling from Baba, and because because used to hear this sound that we lost family, someone lost, and this and that, and then it's a COVID time, and it was a rehearsal. So then somehow I felt that my body's telling me that now go back to home and do meditation. And then I returned home and I was doing meditation, and I was telling Baba that this energy goes to souls who really needs this time. So I was doing meditation, but then I was remembering my family. I was remembering my office work, and that was the biggest obstacle. And then I realized, when Baba needs you and you still think about this materialistic world, that's a very serious. Now this is the time Baba wants me to do something. And then I started doing a conversation with Baba that I do understand that I get very nice pulling from you. You want me to do some yoga and spread the vibration across the world. I'm ready, but somehow still I'm getting feeling of my parents, my work, and something. I think you need to help me now. Please help me for a moment. The moment I start, getting a good vibration, good connection, then I will not ask you to help me. And then I realized it was a good meditation, and I slept for 15 to 20 minutes. I slept, I'm sure. But then I got a dream that me and Baba, we were top of the world, and we were spreading the vibration. And after some time, I felt like I woke up, but it was a sleep. I'm sure it was a sleep and dream, but it was afternoon, so I'm sure I was not tired. But then that was a big experience when I realized, if you offer yourself, if you talk to Baba that I'm ready to do this, you can help me, and you do the daily conversation, Baba really make you an instrument. That's what I realized, and that's what I feel. And it was a COVID time, so in that way, my deep realization was connection. My deep, I would say deep connection. But then realization was something that, if you really offer, if you really make yourself flexible, sometimes we say, I need to check, I will check my schedule, I will check my routine, and I will get back to you. That's good. But the first thought gives an impression. So I realized, if you offer, Baba always help you. Hmm. Yeah, brother, I saw you raise your hand.
Uh, Jignesh bhai, sir, I think the internet is going in and out. Can you check if you can turn off some of the internet windows so that you have a bigger bandwidth? So your
Let me do
sound is going in and out. So
Okay, let me do that. So whenever you are doing something, yeah, I try. Let's see how it goes now.
so is everyone able to hear properly? Okay. Okay, please continue, Jignesh.
All right, I have closed few of my windows. Let's see. Yeah, so that's an obstacle always. Anyway, so I was saying, like, it was quite a good connection. Apart from that, maybe one experience I can share. So this is my routine. I talk to Baba. I have a heart to heart conversation when I have my coffee, my tea, or my lunch, or my breakfast or dinner, and I try that I share everything to Baba, because that is the only way you have to live your life. Sometimes if you have a Brahmins around you, sometimes if you have your friends around you, but that's for the temporary moment. But majority time you are all alone. You are by your own. So I always try to do communication, and I do crafting, I do painting, I do a lot of stuff sometimes when I get time. So I talk to Baba and I do conversation that this is the way we do in this corporeal world. And we have a scrum meeting, and then in scrum meeting we have this. So that was a time, like, I was just sharing a simple stuff to Baba, because I'm also part of the environment Eco Brahma Kumari. So we have a team over here, And then I manage the whole social media of an environment like Brahma Kumaris, and then we have a team. So we write a newsletter. So there are many things going on, and we also give awareness. We also organize the awareness camp here in Europe and in UK for environment. So I'm part of that team. So I was talking with Baba that we need to do this activity, and it was a good program happened here in this city, and then we got many good souls connected. So I was talking with Baba that I always talk, I always communicate with you, but then you say that Murli is an answer if you ask any question. But then you never say my name, it's like a general broadcasting letter. Because Baba said that sometimes if you ask, I think Sunday Murli or some other Sunday Murli, Baba said that you write me a love letter and I give you answer by Murli. So I was telling him that that's okay. I mean, you answer by Murli, but you never use my name. Sometimes you use Kumar ka Dadi name or someone name. How would I understand that you listen to me? Never ever do that. That's a bad thing with the Supreme, because that's something we always give a type position to Baba. But it was just a thought. And then I wrote a letter to Baba regarding the environment program. And in Ahmedabad, there is a center, Mahadev Nagar, where Chandrika Ben, if you know Chandrika Ben, she's a younger sister of Vedanti Ben, and she's a youth wing national vice chairperson. So I basically connected with her because that's where I came into Gyan. And I also said, I always send a note to her that, Didi, this is something what we are doing. And she's a trance messenger. So sometimes she goes to Baba and take message. So I just tell her that, Didi, we had this program and it was wonderful. Maybe if you get chance, you can just inform to Baba. So I was just sharing that information that we might have a youth plus environment Brahma Kumaris, and we can have a collaboration and we do some youth program for environment. And that was a simple half page letter which I wrote to Baba, and I told sister that maybe you, whenever you get chance, you go Amrutwela to Baba, give my regards and my love to him, and then inform. I mean, maybe take advice or maybe guidance from Baba that how we can do this environment project. But deep down, I was also talking with Baba that do you really get my point? Do you really understand? You say that Murli is an answer, but that is a very broadcasting answer. How would I understand? And each and every Murli, you have a very good point. So somehow it's a psychology that you have some problem. If I read one page of article, I get an answer. That's very normal. That's why you see in Instagram people share sometimes, a fun line of, because each and every knowledge is connected, somehow. If you read any Murli, it's always connected, always give an answer to your question. And then in Hindi, there is a nice word, that's Meera, the devotee Meera, she always used for Lord Krishna, and that was Preeti ki Riti. Preeti means your love, your dedication to the Supreme, and Riti means a custom. So, Preet ki Reet, matlab, whenever you love someone, whenever you dedicate yourself to someone, there are some ways, there are some rules, regulation, or some custom. So I was just sharing my own thought with Baba that, do you really get the point? Preeti ki Riti, you always say about love me and always say about like dedicate yourself, you know, and make all relation with Baba. And that was a very normal conversation. But I used that word, Preeti ki Riti. I don't know how come. And then it's done. And then next day, I got audio, what we call audio note from Chandrika Ben, and then she said, I talked to Baba. I mean, not trans message, but then she got very clear vision from Baba. And it was all message for environment, that it's a good idea. You doing an environment, Brahma Kumaris, you can come and do some activity in India and abroad, and it would be nice. And this. And this is a message from Baba. And then she also mentioned, and yes, Baba also mentioned that, tell that child that, I hear everything, whatever you say. So, Preeti ki Riti, I also get your point, exactly. And that I have not written in the letter, not informed Didi, that, this is my own feeling. So that's the biggest experience, I would say, except the word Preeti ki Riti. You understand that point? It's a inverted comma word, the Preeti ki Riti. And I have not written in the letter, not shared with anyone. That's a very private moment with me and my Supreme Almighty. So, but then he mentioned, and he said, and Chandrika Didi was telling me after the message, and then she said, Baba said this, and only one line. Baba said, tell that child also that, Baba hear the heart voice, and also Baba understand the Preeti Kiriti. And that was very embarrassment moment. I say, sorry, Baba. My meaning was not that you are not listening, but it's a human mind. Still, I am trying my level best to become a deity from Brahmin. So that's a so then I understood, no, your feeling goes to him, definitely. So then I started believing, started understanding that if you do not have any conversation with Baba, your life is maybe waking up, listening Murli, and then maybe job, and then this, and some rules and regulation, what we call Srimad, evening meditation. We are doing that. That's good. But then now the time is different. Now, challenge yourself and go limitless. Give the best what you can give to Baba. And then he listened. And I realize if you inform him, he can understand. If you do not inform him, then it's a part of drama, then it's going on. But then when you have a heart to heart conversation, when you understand yourself, and when you just have a chit chat with Baba, that also drama, I understand. But basically, that's something I feel. If you love someone, you have to share. If you if you like someone, you have to tell that person, like that. So then Baba gets the feeling. I always understand in that way. We all love Baba, that's true, but then he should know. And he should understand my feeling. And that is the only way. When you have a conversation, and when you write the letters, or when you think that this is a good time, or this is a good stuff I can inform Baba, just I don't want to keep it with me. I mean, I don't want to keep it in my mind. So everything, whatever happen, I inform Baba. Even very small stuff in center. So my friends, they went for a shopping, and my family sometimes they say we went for shopping, and it was sometime I feel like, I also have to go for shopping. But then I see it for sometimes people give gifts to each other, like in Christmas and in Easter. So I feel, my goodness, nobody's giving me gift. So I simply get some money from Baba's box, and I buy T-shirt and give it, and I pack it, Amrit Villa, and then I say to me from Baba. It's a it's a fantastic feeling, though it's your own money. But then we have to try something like that. Otherwise, I think it's not easy to sustain in a Brahmin life. We know that we are surrounded by many people, many Brahmins, but I feel he should know that how you feel. He should know that how you behave, when you are living alone, or when you are with other Brahmins. And by doing this all activity, what I experience here, I see the sanskaras, easily changing, because now my priority is not to change my behavior. My priority is not to change my sanskar. My priority is not to change my routine. No, my priority is to just do a good conversation and lifelong sharing with Baba. And then the rest of the thing is very minor. That's the very lowest priority. Sometimes we need to understand with to whom we need to give priority. We give priority sometimes to very, I would say, a materialistic stuff, example. But I always give priority to Baba. And it's not that full time 24 hours Baba, 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 Brahma Kumaris. No, it's like a routine now. Um, and I realize dealing with Western, dealing with Eastern, sometimes it making me very easy. It's not complicated. So I do organize Nordic Hindi retreat. Sometimes 30 to 25 to 30 Brahmins, they join with kids, but things go very smoothly. and I need not to practice, or I need not to put my any extra efforts on it, because my aim is to just make sure that everyone gets connected with Baba. My aim is not that how they feel, how these things to be managed. We do have a schedule. We do have a Brahmins, those who are responsible for many stuff, lunch, breakfast, and many stuff. But that's planning. But then I never put my extra efforts that I have to change this, I have to do this. No, it has to be smooth. We should not give priority to such stuff. We should give priority to, first of all, how I can do a conversation with Baba, how I can make myself comfortable and flexible, how I can have a heart to heart communication with Baba, and those things will make easy. And I was reading, and I do understand, then time 1936 to 1946 or 52. I got a chance to, long back, I was a very young, 14 15-year old. I met Dadi Prakash Mani, Manor Dadi, and then there were few dadis at the time in 90s and early 2000. Sometime we asked questions. So I what I understood, from 1936 to maybe 56, they did have this big depth knowledge. Now we talk about the dedication, divine, and this and that. We have a fancy words nowadays. Sometimes some people ask me, what is resilience from the soul? Those kind of words if we are now developing. Then time, only I, the soul, and owner of my soul is the supreme soul, and that's it. So then I think now we have to go back to the originality. That's the fact. Forget about everything. And when you really understand the concept that you are the tiny soul, and its energy, it's the main source of stuff in your body, and then I connect the source of energy. Maybe sometimes you can also connect to the source of energy like nature. It's up to you. But then Baba is the ultimate soul. So then things are going easy. No need to much read, no need to much worry about how other think, how this will go, how that will go. Sometimes we are seeking for an answer, like from the science perspective. We are seeking an answer from the spiritual perspective, from my limitation, my body. I feel, no, we need to learn from them. And there was no 7 days meditation course either. you know they have simply started by experiencing. I was reading the story of Gulzar Dadi's Lokik mother, and it was like all dedication just on one line, and that was love. It's like love the God. I mean, that is the only way. And then the word came Saman, Bap Saman. I am the equal. Equal means like a deep copy. So I practice that part, and try. My aim is to go as much as near you go to the supreme. Baba often say in Murli, when you become perfect, that means you are going near. So near means what? Near means not the golden age, but near means towards him, and then rest of the soul. And other practice what I do, that I live in a south part of Sweden, which were no connection. I My job is basically where I was working in a company. The headquarter was in Santa Clara, and I decided in 2016 that now I'll shift back to Santa Clara, because my company is now pushing me to shift to United States. It was my decision. I wanted to continue from India, and they were pushing me. And then I was thinking, oh no, United States is such a competition world. Because I hear from my friends, it's too much competition, and then chaos and conflicted people running there and here, and then in office they also it's like it's a race. Everybody wants to prove that they are good, and I feel no, that's not my priority. And I always write a letter to Baba that what to do, and suddenly a Sweden opportunity came. And I talked to Baba that maybe Europe, I can explore Europe. I already explore other part of the world. And anyhow, that's a long story. I again asked Chandrika Didi to ask Baba what to do, what not to do. Baba gave an answer that, you can go to Sweden. First time in my life in 2016, I opened the Google map and searched where exactly the Sweden is. And then I located, oh my God, this part of the world, they have a 6 month of days and 6 month of, night. Now it's the 4 o'clock in the morning, and now I can see little light, birds are chirping, different world. And same in the winter, you don't see the light. So first 6 months were horrible in Sweden, but then now I understood that Baba really wanted me to do something great. So it's happening now. I'm here. I'm doing this service. So I feel now the experience. What we need to do is go back to the originality rather to deviate ourselves. So those kind of experience I always do. And another thing, I do not have a something where I can say my routine before coming to Gyan. No, I was 14-year-old when I came to Baba and struggling because parents were fully, it's a typical Indian parents, the way they want to do, we have to do. It's not like a Western that, parents give a chance and opportunity for kids. No, no, do by your own, explore your life. No, Indian parents are no, explore your life the way we want. It's a big challenge from parents. But then I do not have a particular habit or routine before Gyan. So I was very clean slate, just came to Baba and started randomly. I used to go to center hiding myself. I put my bicycle somewhere else and I go to center because then they should not come to know that, I park my bicycle in the center. My mom sometimes she followed me. Why you are going to Brahma Kumari? The name Brahma Kumari itself is very, choosy. So it's a challenge, but then not something which I can say my habit or routine before. No, I was simply born in Gujarati Vaishnav family, so birth vegetarian and no onion garlic. So I feel very privileged that from my childhood I have not had, and very young age came to Baba. So now I realize maybe previous birth it was a half love story. If you watch any Bollywood movie, sometime I feel it's story of ours. How they get inspiration. Maybe one of Brahmin is doing fantastic yoga across the world, some of the part, and these directors are getting a good feeling and they make movie. So it's like that. So I believe in that way. So but sanskars are changing. I do have some sanskar like much more emotional, which is not needed. You have to be a balance. You have to be a practical. Now it's been 7 years in Sweden. I understand the life is also not a very emotional, which is my possible typical Indian body, likely possible. And you have seen our dadis, right? So, but then Western also gave the fantastic learning of balancing the life. So I do get 7 to 8 hours sleep. It's not that I work extra hard. 9:30 I sleep, and 3:45 I wake up. And Saturday Sunday if I get time I sleep afternoon. So I look after myself, and I sneak out from my office and I play tennis, and I schedule like I do painting, I do crafting, and when I organize retreat, I use this crafting stuff, and so you have to plan. And I'll always feel that we sometimes we say that I don't have time. I'm very busy, but I think that's wrong. Yeah, you can do if you want 24 hours, and then you if you plan nicely, you can manage. That's something I feel. Right? So this is throughout what I do, and maybe if I share another experience, so I also design a youth program for youth wing Brahma Kumaris. I'm part of that because Sharvika Ben, she is a vice chairperson of youth wing. So and initial coordinator Kruti Ben, they gave me chance to design youth program. So I used to participate in International Youth Forum. If any one of you knew, every December we have an International Youth Forum in Madhuban, in Gansarovar. So I participated before also, and then they asked me to design for the Indian youth, and then the concept came the Divine Youth Forum for Bharatavasi. So I designed program for them. So we decide the topic, and I designed the whole retreat, 4 days retreat. So last year, again, I always talk to Baba that do you really get my point? Do you really understand? Because I asked you a question yesterday, and it was a 4 page of Murli. I do understand, but I'm not that intelligent to understand which point I need to carry. It's a 4 page. But then that happening every day. I talk to Baba. So I was designing this retreat, and the theme was Ote So Arjun. I was designing that retreat. So and that's my specialty also. I design the retreat for even some of the retreats here also. So I do churn, I do read a Vyakta Murli, and then come up with the questions and activities, and do like that, and design the logo, everything I do. So I was doing it. It takes sometime 1 month, 2 months, because I do after Amrut Vela. So I design and I handed over, and then logos and everything, and it was a successful retreat. And I write later to Baba that it might possible that if I design that my thoughts also put into the place, but then if you think that these things are not proper, change it. I'm handing over the document. The one who is opening the document, maybe you can change his mind or her mind, but I am free now. And then I realized every year they are saying the retreats are happening nicely. Theme they decide, we decide, and I design. Last time it was in the Bengaluru in India, a southern part of India. And then Chandrika Ben, anyhow, she's a vice chairperson of youth wing. So she goes every year, every time when the retreat is happening. And I heard now the retreats are for the Kumari, and then teachers. Three parallel retreats are happening. So almost 300 to 350 participants across the country from India they get. And and anyhow, she talked to Baba every Amrit Vela morning. And then she got a message, and Baba was saying such a wonderful retreat, and Baba is giving usual message, right? And then Baba said my name. Baba said that the special thanks to the children who designed the retreat with name. you know. And then I got a YouTube link that, Baba is remembering you. I took a leave on that day from, and it was so wonderful feeling. And I wrote a letter to Baba, please don't take me wrong. I'm not trying to, put you in a position that you have to remember me. Please, you have a plenty of stuff to do. The people across millions of soul across the world, so you have to look after. Please don't feel that, but you remember me. That's a fantastic feeling. So I can give you surety that I will give my level best to fulfill your wish and maybe the way you want. This is experience, what I used to get. So I don't feel that living alone or doing service by your own is a difficult position. No, it's a fantastic feeling, but you have to trust. If you have a 1% of Allah mix in your mind, it's from 24 carat to become 22 carat just by simple some portion of Allah. So I try my level best to keep my mind clean, clear, so I can easily communicate to Baba. That's what I always try. And I always feel that we really have to understand how Brahma Baba and Saka family they have started. Now we have a vast topics and discussion. Like when I got to know that I need to give a session and then topics. So then I was started thinking. But then if I ask, let's say if you would ask any question to dadis or senior, they would come with a very simple word, like example. When I talk, it was a long back when I had a chat with Daddy Kumarka, and she was telling me, practice balak somali, like you can say a child to chancellor, a kid to king. Practice that, and I understood, like very simple word that child means, like if someone is insulting, people do that here. Sometimes when they come for meditation center, sometimes they don't like, they say something bad, that time you feel child, ignore it. But when someone is saying too much, then you have to become a king of your mind and say stop it. So those kind of practice I have seen what dadis have done. So we have a Hindi book series called Gyan Sudha. So sometimes I read that, how they experience, how they follow Baba, and how they understood Murli. That's why we don't have then Murlis like 1936 to 1963. I think we don't have those Murlis. We have from 1964, I guess. Yeah. So I always feel that sometimes going into much detail, it's a difficult. So rather to go much into detail, maybe come to the point, explore, but at the same time connect with the Baba. So that's perhaps my whole. So this is something I wanted to share, but I feel very, and this is only two experience when I was sharing that, when I got a message from Didi that Baba was telling this, but there are plenty. Like sometime I get a call from her Amritvela when I was in India, and there Amritvela is my 1 o'clock sometime, we are 4 hours behind from India to Sweden. And then she said, note down what I'm telling. Baba is saying, do this, do this. And each and every project, what we do, and we get success. There was a one project what we have done, Youth for Global Peace. It was a big success, but it's all Baba's inspiration, Baba's blessing. And if you are clean and clear, you can easily get the idea what Baba really wanted me to do. So those kind of experience I always do. And yeah, I think that's it. And then there's a couple of questions like I think how to answer, but it was a quest in 1999, 8 and 9 when I started my journey. 14-year-old half pant boy, and I started visiting all temple. I visited all religion. I would say I don't want to name the religion, but I read the scripture also. But it's now helping me to give course. When I have some person who is following some religion, some faith in environment, we have a faith group. So Brahma Kumaris also participate in faith group. So that then I understand, now I understood. I deal with different religion people with the pinpoint, in your religion, in this scripture, this is your prophet mentioned, and that is the meaning what Supreme is saying to us, So it was like a fantastic journey. I just started reading all the scripture, Vedas. I read Vedas because now I understood, because when I deal with people, here we have a Hindu temple. So when I go and give a session, so very intellectual people, sometimes they speak very nicely Sanskrit sloka, and then I have to say, please now translate. But I know Vedas, but then, but then it helps to give them answer. So now I can say nothing is impossible for me, especially. Everything is possible. Imagine in 1936, they have never thought about that, there might be some Wi-Fi connection or something, or Zoom, or no phone, no microchip, no nanochip. The computer was like a big screen, big chip. And now it's like we are in our company, like day by day we are getting a challenge, we are getting a target, and now 25 nanometer, 24 nanometer, 5 nanometer, that means this much small chip. Imagine the small chip have the whole world. This GPU, when people are playing Nintendo or maybe PS2 game, imagine you see that big box, but actually the microprocessor is this much only. So then I say, imagine we are trying to squeeze, and then we are giving that, we are delivering the best as small as possible. That's the word, that's your mind. You have a plenty of stuff going on. It's a fantastic journey, but I would always say, being Brahmin, maybe this is not the time. If you still have a conflict, confusion, contradiction with Brahmins, I feel, I don't want to do anything now, because if I do something, let's say, sometime, it's being born in Indian family, born in very orthodox religion family. Though my parents, they settled for in United States for few years, it was like that. I was very young, but still is a culture. I see sometimes still people have a post-colonial effect. Post-colonial effect means hello, ma'am, hello, sir, thank you, sorry. Still, we do have. I think no, I don't want to do this, because if I do with Brahmin, let's say, sometimes we please unnecessarily. We use the word G. In Hindi we often use word by G, but I always check deep of my mind. Am I really giving a respect, or it's just like a word? Because if I am pretending, I am the one who is creating this from Dwapar Yuga, from the Copper Age. So this, let's say, this bribery, or this, this bad stuff, who started in Copper Age? Have you ever thought? It's we, we the Brahmin who is starting. Like, we often say, some people are very corrupted. But look at yourself. You are the one you started in corporate. I mean, no one else. These new souls, new souls coming from a supreme abode, they are not doing this. The one who are in this world from beginning, they are doing this. So I always try that, never ever do something that you are the responsible or you are the limit or instrument, and Baba will come to you. Okay, you have pleased many sisters and brothers just like that, hello, hello, you are wonderful, you are so nice, you have done this and you have done this. Baba is helping you, unnecessarily pleasing. Now you will create that in corporate. Imagine millions of souls are watching you, and Baba is telling you this, that you are the one who will start the corruption. Oh no. So I always think about that. My life is very precious, and I always get a feeling that my previous birth, my love story is not fulfilled. So this is the time I will finish it. All right. So a lot, but then still I conclude. Maybe if you have anything else to share, I would also like to hear. But that's what my maybe not my message, but then I also wanted to understand that life is very short now. We never know when. And Sangam Yuga is short, we know 100 years, but then Baba never declared that 100 years, that means 1936 to 2036. No, it can go before and after. And the end of the world will be like zoom. You will not get a chance to understand. It will be zoom, and then it's done. So before doing anything, I think we really have to understand, and maybe and the foundation rules and regulation. I in my Whenever I read Murli and in our class, and whenever I meet any Brahmin, I said, no need to do extra efforts. Just focus on Amrit Vela on Murli class. That's what I got from day one when I used to meet dadis, and in my center when I used to go when I was a young kid. Our Didi always said, Amrit Vela and Murli class is the one foundation. No matter what, if you think that yesterday evening we spent much time and today morning was very lazy, very lethargic, no, I think that's something we should not compromise. That's it. uh, Hope I didn't get bore you, but
Nice.
that's so far my experience.
This is very interesting, and especially as a Brahmin, as we go through, um, getting a message from Baba, that special, unique message only for you with by name.
That's
that,
fantastic feeling.
that is really freaks us out. Definitely.
Some
Yeah.
people say that I get this. So I was in one of the UN conference, and they announced my name with the Indian flag behind, and it was a fantastic feeling, and people were saying, "Wow, wonderful feeling." And I said, "No, I'm still expecting someone else to call me."
And then he calls you.
It's typical housewife feeling. Sometimes I feel. I said, "No, please, I don't want to be housewife." But it's the love. I would say
It's a
by name.
very unique journey. So, like how Brahmins have, you never hear this kind of experience from any other brother from outside.
Yeah, someone was asking me, I have this ring. So my office, they asked me, are you married? I said, yes, I'm married.
Yeah.
And then they said, what your wife is doing? And I said, don't ask me. And I have my close friend when it's then in Sweden, like very good friend of mine. 6 years before, he asked me that you married. I said yes, I'm married. And after 2 years, I said you married, but I come to your house, but I don't see your wife. And are you
Invisible.
really married? I said I'm sorry, but I have a husband. And he understood in a different way. I said, don't take me negative, don't take me wrong, but this is the spirituality, supreme. Never become wife, never become a, because he doesn't need, we need, so we become wife or maybe husband. So I always say I have a husband, but otherwise I don't tell you anything. I just say I'm dedicated to spirituality. But sometimes I talk to Baba, that's so different feeling, male body, and you are asking me to love, and you say I'm also a male. It's a different feeling.
It definitely transcends body consciousness. Of sure.
Yes, you
Yeah,
cultivate
Baba has
something.
Baba has a unique way to break body consciousness, and it is ingrained for 63 years, like thousands of years of um, hardcore body consciousness. Like to break that, Baba has to have like make wife and husband, brother and sister, and then brothers
Mm.
into wives to Baba, and all kinds of strange equations will start coming up. To break all of this worldly nature of relating to each other. Really
But
beautiful.
love has no gender.
That's
That's why, like, if you read about this community messages, love has no gender, and that's
Mhm.
why the United States came up with an idea long back. No gender, no discrimination, no black, no white. How
Mm.
come? I mean, it's not possible. Somehow you, me, we all have a certain level of discrimination. When I go to Madhuban, I see how people behave. Or Brahmins, my tap is not working, my pillow is not good, and this and that. But this is a learning. So then I realized, if you love someone, then you don't see anything. I have seen people, those who are in love, the maybe Indian wife and American husband, and then here in Sweden I see. So it's something I feel a deep connection, and we do have a very pure and very elevated one too. And Baba is very different feeling. Love has no gender.
That's true. I think we, like you're saying, we are influencing other souls to break the gender barrier, and people are trying, kind of confused, but at the same time they feel something different at the same time.
And that's why in 86 December, Murli, Baba, maybe I don't know why Baba brought that point, but Baba said, you are not American, you are not Indian, but you are Brahmin.
Mm,
And we should read that, Murli. It's fantastic, very deep meaning Baba is giving. uh, Maybe we do have in each and every country they have a discrimination law with the maybe thousands of PDF document, but our 1.5 page document from Baba is enough to understand. You are Brahmin, and Brahmin. To be quite open, whenever we have a European teacher retreat, I always, whenever I talk to someone, and they ask, like, I said, Brahmin is not a Hindu word. Brahmin is a Sanskrit word where we say a one who is following the purity. So never ever thought that it's a typical Hindu name where it because the name called Brahma, but the meaning of Brahma is different. It's not something this Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, what we call, but actually it's a very deep meaning. The owner of universe, Brahm, and when he's coming and he's giving you knowledge, then you become a Brahmin. So that's something, it's a different meaning what we need to understand. So Baba has a meaning.
this is nice. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on that,
So,
Brahmin.
so basically, a very nice word, like Brahm. Brahm means universe, they call,
Mhm.
and there are two meaning of Brahm. One Brahm is maybe universe, and one Brahm is like illusion. But
Illusion.
that's a Brahm. It's a different. It's a A in between the R, but one Brahma is a A and then one dot in Sanskrit. So that's called the universe. And when we call Brahma, so it's very simple meaning, like the owner of universe wants to say something, and when he uses a physical costume, so that person become a mother, and that's called the word ma, and then Brahma. So the meaning is the owner of universe. Is a atmosphere, what we call the tattva in Hindi, tattva. So when that original form of source enters to the physical costume and starts saying something, and when something new comes, it's called birth. Very simple. When something new comes, like a new laptop, new iPad, it's like the birth. The moment you open, when you get the chip, is a birth. Simple. Any is a birth. So when he wants to say something, and when he enters to one physical costume and starts saying, so that's a new elevated version. But that particular person will become a mother, because only mother can give birth, and that's why the word called Brahma, right? So we are from Brahma. We are daughter, and brothers of Brahma. But the word called Brahmin, so um, I exactly the English word I don't know. Maybe I need to search. But then Brahmin, the last two words in, that means the one who is following, the one who is becoming. Like in Hindi there is a word called embodiment, like in English. So when you become an embodiment of peace, it's like a peace messenger. Exactly when the Supreme enters into one body saying something, you are listening. That's a new elevated version. That particular person becomes mother, Brahma. And when you start following this version, you become Brahmin. So you are not belong to any country or citizen, because that's your physical caution. But then when Baba says Brahmin, it's very, very deep meaning. We simply say I'm Brahmin, I'm this and I'm that. But that's a meaning. Imagine that, you are the only one, whole cycle, whole world, millions of souls, and you are the one who is listening to him, and you are the one who is following Brahmin. And in mythology also, they said, Brahmins are like this knot. So that means the top of your body, but that just a representation top of your body, but physically that shows that you are highly elevated, highly elevated. And the Brahmins are entitled and eligible to become a deity, no one else. So that one is fantastic, and I understood that it might possible, because it's very likely possible that we often go into this section called Indians and Americans and Swedish and Danish, likely possible. But I think no. I mean, if you still do, I would suggest take 7 days course again. You really need that, because but then I also understand at the same time, Baba needs 60,000 souls who become a king and queens. The rest of the souls are, people. So now if so this is the Brahma Baba used to say that, if you really want to check yourself, think about it, how subtle way you are thinking. If you still think about the human being and this and that person, I think you are not part of the 16,108 souls, the rosary beads. You are a people of kingdom. And those are the one who thinks about this, and that's why they are becoming the people of kingdom. So maybe that's a knowledge, but then I don't want to be a part of that. If I am dedicating myself to Baba, I will take the full privilege and full chance. Why to, if I want to pass, why to pass with the low marks? I mean, so if you do it. So I always feel in that way. Sometimes we do have a hypocritic nature. Like some of Brahmins, when we meet, they often talk about politics. I said, being a spiritual identity, we should not give any judgment. That's the Iron Age world. I mean, they are doing their best. If you talk about the political, like, they are doing this, they are doing this, then I think we are not Brahmin. Then you didn't understand the meaning of Brahmin. You really have to understand the deep meaning of Brahmin. It's a, it's a very, very subtle connection and subtle way of informing that where you located in your supreme abode. It's this is the and where you located. And also, like I do some practice that if I'm near to Baba, that means the more you near to the Supreme, the more you are the one who give a salvation to other souls. Because Baba said you become a master Satguru. So Baba gives salvation to us, and then we are responsible for.
Mm.
So meaning is very deep. The Brahmins.
Yeah, yeah. More closer you come to Baba, you'll be closer to lot more souls than you ever thought.
Imagine millions. I was thinking other day, like, maybe I think Baba is putting me in this part of the world. Definitely. I told Baba that don't worry about this Nordic. I'll look after them, when there will be, and you can look after Bharat, because they need you. I'll manage here, because half of the souls are new. Nordics are the best countries to live in the world, they say. So I said, Baba, half of the souls are, new. They will anyhow come in Iron Age. So maybe one piece thought, and they will left the body and they will come to you. We have to give a surety to Baba that, like when you give a surety to your parents, don't worry, I will look after their release. And they give extra faith, and they give a feeling. Sometimes feelings is needed, that, Baba trust you. The way Baba trusted our dadis.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. So it's Baba definitely feel like, oh yeah, I am my life, bacha.
Yeah.
He's taking care of that zone.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you go and conversation, not is a explanation mode or question mode. Otherwise, Baba will speak. Oh no, again you are come up with a question. Well, Baba never do that because Baba never does that because he's a supreme. So he. But I always feel that if you remember him, he gets feeling from you. If you do not remember him, then you are nothing in front of him. So
Yeah.
nothing. He said nothing to lose. But then when you remember him, he gets the feeling. So I constantly poke him that, I am here, I will never leave you alone. If you do not remember him, that he doesn't get feeling. Because then he said it's a drama, and drama is going like, you are my son, I'm your father, I know everything. But then do I get feeling? No. And that's why sometimes when I talk when I give a session because they often invite, like, how you balance your life in Eastern and Western. And I said, maybe it's not that Western is bad or Eastern is good, or Eastern is bad and Western is good. No, I think it's a balance. But then the best thing which I learned from Eastern culture, from my Indian culture is, I call my parents like sometime twice a day. So they get feeling, that my son is good, he's not on a bad path. Now they agree that, I'm part of Brahma Kumaris and I'm running center. So now they are okay. Still deep of mind, they think different, but they get feeling, right? But let's say you don't call your parents, and you, like Easter, you have a lunch and dinner, and you meet your parents like once in a 6 month. You have a Mother's Day, Father's Day, hell lot of days, But maybe that's the culture, that's a thing which you are carry forwarding, and that's why you do not have a deep connection. Maybe maybe here I can see. So it's going on, but the good thing which I learned from my culture is like, poke your parents. And they should feel that someone is there. So that's what I do always, remember Baba, and I'm saying this, and I don't have any complaint. I'm happy. I have a good job, good salary, running Baba's house, and now serving a lot and many Brahmins. And it's like in Western, Brahmins, becoming a Brahmin is a big job. Sometimes this our Brahmins, I talk to them and I said, no worries, everything will be good. So it's a tremendous amount of energy what you are spreading, But then at the same time, very ample amount of energy what you are getting from Baba. So that's something I always do. So we have to remember him so he can understand. Okay, there is a one child. He doesn't know the name. Maybe by
Yes, I know
message
your
he can
name.
say, but by sparkle of your light, he can understand.
No, he knows your name, and then he makes
Uh,
sure you get to
you
know
should
that.
you should know. I don't care about it. You should know
I
my name,
like
my
that.
last 84 birth name. I
Yeah.
want him to know because this is the only time, we can meet him. Imagine we'll meet him after 5,000 years. Maybe we do not have a consciousness, but then now we are aware. So use that awareness and be alert and be attentive.
Really beautiful. If anyone have
Yep.
any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and Kalpana mein. Yeah.
As usual, I have a question. uh, Om Shanti Jignesh Bhai.
Oh, Shanti.
This was a treat. I just loved how you talked about having a conversation with Baba. That really touched my heart. I'm new in Gyan, took it during COVID times. And you do Amrit Vela, you do Murli, but having that deep connection is what you taught. Involve Baba in everything in your life. And that to me is the best thing I learned today. Um, and and Baba responds. I feel that, that he does respond. So, with that in mind, my question to you is how to make your Amrit Vela more fruitful and effortless. So, that was my question. Om Shanti.
Mhm. So what I do, maybe we all know that, before going to sleep, remember Baba, and then Baba will wake you. Actually, sometime I don't do, but then it's a practice. Maybe practice makes man perfect. That's it. I think that's true. I do practice a lot. So I start my Amrit Vela saying good morning to Baba. So now I have a very good practice. The moment I wake up, I open my eyes, I start singing one song, one Hindi song, because the first thought will decide your life. And it's a forcefully I started. It took like maybe 4 to 5 months of practice. And I listen one song before I sleep. So just, in our technical word, we call LIFO, last in, first out. And one is
Mhm.
a FIFO, first in, first out. So the last in is Baba's song, first out is Baba's song. So I start singing that song. Just, because our 63 births are horrible. You have no idea what bad stuff, what the hell you have done in your previous life. So that will come. And I accept that part. And then maybe I have a warm water and something like that. I don't change my clothes and everything. I just simply, because those are very subtle way of thinking. But then I start saying good morning and today's date. Let's say today's Tuesday, date is this, and this is my routine, Baba. I have a 5 meetings and this meeting. So I inform Baba my routine, like for the 5 minutes. And then every day I do one practice that, my flow, when you put a stone into the water, you see these waves, right? I feel that, now Baba, let me share the peace vibration to these people, because these are new souls, they don't need God, they don't need spirituality, but they still need peace. So I give 10 minutes of those meditation. And then if I feel that, I'm sleeping, then I do conversation with Baba, like extend my schedule. Like today also I have a course. So sometime, evening back to back course, 6:30 to 7:30, 7:30 to 8:30. So then I shared with Baba that, Baba, today 6:30 course, that person is doing course, that person from one of the NGO, very well-known NGO in India. Sometimes they make trouble, but then, you are with me, so I'm okay. So then sometime I do conversation, because I feel it's good to have a deep connection where you feel that you are a tiny soul here and you get all energy from Baba. I also do that practice. But sometime it might happen that you feel sleepy. It's a 63 birth, nothing, no connection with your previous night or this night. Randomly you get some, provoking thought. So I do conversation, I do share my routine. And then I also take advice, like, example, like next Saturday I'm going to temple, Baba, and very honest, Baba, I'm feeling sleepy. I don't know why. So let me have a conversation with you. And there was a time Baba said in Murli, there are two words in Murli, Yad and Yog. Yad means remembrance, and Yoga means yoga, Judna. It's a yoga word, is a Sanskrit word, and the meaning is a yoj. Yoj means a connection. So when we say yoga, that means you literally connect the soul and the supreme soul. But the remembrance is like you just remember Baba, the way you remember your office, the way you remember your family. So then I say, Baba, when I'm talking with you, that goes into the category of remembrance. And when you accumulate the good set of amount of remembrance, it's easy to do yoga. That's why Baba is saying, many often time in Murli, remember me, remember me. Very few time Baba said, you connect with me, do yoga. But remembrance is a foundation. So majority of my time, I do remember my time in Madhuban, and I do remember my time in some of the retreat, or my future activity, or my past activity. So 15-20 minutes goes like this, very good conversation. And sometimes I walk if I feel that it's too much headache or something. It's possible. Don't worry, it's normal. But then I walk in the hall, and then I have a very nice Brahma Baba's photo. So then I look at Brahma Baba's photo and I think, temporarily, this space is supreme space. He's not a god, but then for the time being, because it's easy to just have a, eye to eye conversation. and it's easy, but it's a practice, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you. And a quick follow up about the Brahmin that you explained. So Brahmin is a chosen one, uh, or
Mm,
I know you explained it as
I think it's no, I think
Brahman's
not. I think,
children.
but it's like actual Brahmins are what Baba says. You kids, you child, yeah, Brahmins, because you are the only one listening from me. So that's why your role, 33 million or whatever the total Brahmin, but then very Pakka Brahmins are like the one who goes to golden age, whatever. But then, yes, it's a predefined, right? I mean, those are like maybe supreme, almighty, and then set of these people, those are like Brahmins. Now we portray them into the roots. So it's predefined, definitely. And the meaning of Brahmin itself, the one who is listening from the supreme through Brahma, no one else is listening. Other people are sleeping here, maybe.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Anyone have any more questions? Sangamitra, you have a question? Mhm. So I have a question. Is there a story behind that picture? It's very nostalgic. Lakshmi Narayan picture.
Yeah, why to adopt the digital one? This is a original copy.
This is right. You never see this. This is very original. I know when I first saw this picture, it's very nostalgic. When Dadi share about her their days in original days in Pandabhavan or in Karachi, you get this feeling when you see this picture. It's very
Yeah.
nostalgic.
So I kept this one. So that reminds me, Mukti Jivan Mukti Baba says, like, liberation and liberation in life. That's we need to remind. And somehow I am very attracted to the legacy. What even a couple of courses picture what I have from very old time. Uh, it's something gives a feeling, and they have a feeling because if you check this picture, each and every minor details, how the plates are Lakshmi's sari have all Santri Dadi and all the Dadis, they got a vision and they inform painter. It was a long story. You should learn and you should ask someone. Maybe many Brahmins they know. Mama used to say in Mumbai, and then they used to get a vision, and then they came up with this with picture. You see the aura, the light. Definitely, they might have seen that light in golden age. Each and every minor detail, their nails and their fingers.
That's true. That's
It's a
true.
feeling. They are not
Yeah,
God, but
true.
then
And then
yeah, yeah.
all these modern pictures are all like photoshopped, and then you don't even feel like Lakshmi Narayan.
B612 filter sometime.
And especially when you see the drishti of Lakshmi Narayan, the original pictures, it is totally different from all our photoshopped Lakshmi Narayan pictures that we see.
Mm, mm,
Yeah,
correct. Yeah.
this is
It's a
very
meaning each
nostalgic.
and every. So I have a brown eyes. So in eyes also you have a layers, like first layer the black and then brown and then small portion of black. Again, then you have a brown shade and then white dot, the reflection.
Mm.
That also has a so it's a very minor detail. And our badge also, like Brahma Baba design. So this is Lakshmi. I mean, this is Krishna, but then very fantastic way they have created to give us an idea that this is what you become,
Very nice.
not show off. Yeah,
Very
we should go back to legacy. That's what I always say.
very true. Very true. Go back to the original pictures. That is the real thing.
Yeah,
Everything else is Photoshop.
Photoshop filtered one.
Yeah. So maybe we can have a quick
Yep.
meditation, 2 minutes, and yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Shanti.
Yep. Om Shanti. Happy, have a good evening or maybe good night. And then we'll start our day.
Thank you. Thank you very